Hey guys, welcome to the Color Me Mike podcast. So just a quick disclaimer up here at the top. Anything said during this podcast only reflects on me and or the guest. Sonity has nothing to do at all with anything that's being said here. Sonity is just a cool boba milk tea shop in Fremont, California that is kind enough to let us record the podcast here at their shop and kind enough to hook us up with some boba milk tea drinks. So everybody just chill and enjoy the episode.
Be hard or soft or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
It is cool.
And I appreciate you having me here.
No, I appreciate you coming on. So I'm just putting my headphones on real quick just to gauge your voice. So the microphone, you generally want to keep it about a fist away from your mouth. I mean, I know you got a lot of experience there. I mean, you're pretty far back there. You're not afraid. You could get that thing right up against your mouth.
Okay. Is that good?
Yeah,
okay.
That's good right there. Yeah, I hear you nice and fine. I mean, you can have it a little bit further. It's fine. It's whatever's comfy for you.
A bit lower because I want to see you.
Yeah. So in terms of, the equipment here, you don't have to be gentle. You can be as aggressive as you want. This thing's not going to break.
All right. It just seems pretty...
I know. I realize who I'm talking to when I say that. Be yourself, girl. That's all I want is for you to be yourself. But thanks, Leslie, for being on.
I'm excited. I'm a boba virgin, like I said.
That's right. I never thought I'd be able to say this in my life, but I get to pop your cherry. Look at that.
Yes, or you pop my boba.
Your boba cherry.
The boba is... You
know what, Leslie? That's something I've never had that experience of taking a girl's virginity.
Right?
I never have. Yeah, never have. And I think it's safe to say at this point I probably never will.
Right.
Considering I've been with my wife for 16 years and I'm 41, that's probably something that should not be on the bucket list at this point.
Probably not. Not without her.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. Am I missing out on anything there?
So, okay. So I had a date with a guy on Bumble. We went out and I was like, he's great and everything, but he wasn't for me. And so I started talking to him about this kinky website that was suggested to me that I got on.
Oh, what is the website?
Yeah, it's the Fet Life. So it's about fetishes and BDSM.
Oh, never heard of that one.
So some of my young boyfriends, they were like, you should check that out. You might like spanking. You might like being tied up or whatever. So I was like, well, I don't know what I don't know. So I went on there. And oh my God, there's a lot of things going on there that I never knew people did.
I can imagine. And it's all in alphabetical order for you to check out, right?
It's you join these little groups of the kind of sex you like. And so, like, if you're missing out on something, okay, so here's some of the opportunities that I got since being on there. This guy wanted to tie me down and tickle me.
Tickle you?
Yeah. I was like, no, I hate to be tickled.
Of all the things to do.
Yeah, and tie me down and tickle me? No. That's a hard no for me. He kept asking. I said, look, that's not my fantasy. That's yours. I'm not in. So another guy wanted to dissect insects on my naked body.
What?
Yeah, like a butterfly or
I feel like we're getting into serial killer territory or something like that.
Well, the thing is that we're not going to do any kink shaming, although that one I kind of shame because it's, because like if nobody's getting hurt, I don't kink shame. But the whole butterfly thing and whatever, and I was like, what is it about that? So I looked it up and it's actually a thing.
Really?
Like, it's not this guy. This guy didn't make it up or whatever. So that was weird. So those are some of the outline type of things that are out there. They have, like you just kind of join groups of things that you like. Like if you like doggy style, you like anal, you join these groups and then they have events and you meet up.
I mean, doggy style and anal, is that really a fetish? I mean, isn't it that's just par for the course basically these days, right?
No, see, actually what I found out was however you like to have sex is your kink. However you like, that's your kink. This is what turns you on, right? And so it's important not to kink shame and to just, if everyone's in, then it's fine. So I have a friend who was like totally kink shaming one of my boyfriends who likes my feet. He likes feet. He's turned on by feet.
Yeah, there's quite a few men who are into that feet thing. I don't get that.
Well, see, okay. Either did I. So I asked him, and the guy was like, these might as well be breasts. That's how much I'm into them,
What?
right? So like how you like breasts is how he likes feet. And so I'm like, okay. And I had a joke a long time ago. I was really hoping to find a boyfriend who has a foot fetish because I love my feet rubbed. And then this guy worshiped my feet. And I was like, all right, you like this? Let's do it. I'm in. And it was really nice. Now, it sounds yucky because you're thinking dirty feet and your shoes and all that. But it's really nice. He like took my 4 toes, like kind of sucked it in his mouth real softly, and then my big toe. But he just liked to like he put it against his face. So like he was really like to my feet. And I'm only a size 6, so there's not a whole bunch to like.
Well, that's probably better. He doesn't want some big size 10 foot.
I don't know.
It's probably going to cross another kink boundary there if it starts doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I would
I mean,
imagine
like-
smaller foot better.
So if you like breasts, I might say to you, no, you shouldn't like breasts, or that's terrible. No, you like feet, that's fine. You like elbows, that's fine. I got 2, and I'll try anything twice. So
All right, you are like the ideal woman that every guy like dreams about. In that case, like you're that open minded. I mean, obviously you're attractive too. That helps.
yeah,
that
I
helps.
do all right. I do all right. And I'm a comedian, right? So
Oh yeah, she's also a comic, ladies and gentlemen. She's not just a sex fiend. There's more to
not
her
just
than
a
that.
sex worker.
It's like,
So yeah, now as a comedian, I get exposed to things and I just go with them, even though I don't know what it is, or I'm not sure what, I go with it thinking, let's just see what happens. Okay. Cause this could be funny. So I'll give you an example of that.
okay.
So first of all, that date from Bumble, I told him about FetLife, and then he goes, "Oh, tomorrow night I'm going to this event in Los Gatos," and I said, and I assumed because the segue was the FetLife, right? And so he was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "I'll be there with my friend," and I'm like, "Okay." So I go in by myself, and there's this whole bar full of people. I go in looking adorable. Everybody's on me. And I'm like, hey. And I'm used to having attention because I wear, like, I'm a penis flytrap. I wear sparkly
Well, look at it. What you're wearing? You're a peacock,
Yeah, I'm a
essentially.
peacock.
Right? Yeah.
I got to fly. So
Peacocks don't fly.
So they do a little bit.
A little bit.
And
Yeah.
I'm
I
quoting
stand
this-
corrected. Yeah.
quoting a movie called The Other Guys with Marky
oh,
Mark.
I love that
He goes,
scene.
I'm a peacock.
Yeah.
I got to fly.
I love that
Anyway,
scene. That's
One
hilarious.
of my favorite movies. It's so funny.
Oh, man, that's a great scene.
And then, when Will Ferrell goes, you didn't see what that was coming. Not like he goes, you're not going to go up against a big group of tuna. We're going to learn how to, anyway, I love that movie. And I just saw it. So I show up and all these people are on me. Hi, I'm this. Hi, I'm this. Somebody try to hug me. I'm like, hey. Look, I'm not really sure where I am. I don't know where my friend is. I don't know what's going on. So, So then I was like, this dude rolls up on me and he goes, do you know what kind of party you're at? And I said, no, I don't. He goes, you're at a swingers meet and greet. I'm like, what? Oh my God, no wonder I'm so popular.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm the
yeah.
unicorn, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're married and a lot of these people are married, and I'm not sure if there's something that's lacking from their relationship or they just want to spice things up or try different things.
Well, what's
right?
the average age of the person there?
45.
Yeah, I would imagine would be somewhere around there and older because, I would imagine they would have to have been married for a while now. Maybe the spice is gone. They're just looking to, they like each other. They're going to stay together for other reasons, but in terms of like sexual attraction, I can imagine. Wow, this is really sounding bad for my marriage.
Actually, no, you know what?
Yeah,
it's
like-
that's one way to think about it, and I'm not sure that's everybody's story because I did meet some younger people who that's their thing, and he's like, I want to watch somebody have sex with my wife. She wants to have that's it turns them
Yeah.
on, and then they like. So I don't want to kink shame them. It's not a thing for me. But as a comedian, I was like, all right, I'm going to stay here and see what happens.
Yeah,
Right?
you get a lot of bits out of
So
that
the dude that rolled up on me, he was fantastic. And 5 women in the party came up to me and said, oh, you're going to love John.
Well, what's so fantastic about this
Okay.
dude?
He's a great lover. He's a great oral sex. He cooks you dinner. Okay, so this is the thing. 5 women. I'm like, what is this? What are they pushing this guy on me? Turns out that in the community of the lifestyle, which is the swingers lifestyle, it's called the lifestyle. They have certifications. So like Yelp reviews
Oh, wow.
of men. So I was like, all right, with 5 women, promoting you. Okay, let me give it a try. So he made me dinner. We watched a movie. He was He took off his clothes and he looked like fucking, can I swear on this?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
He looked like a fucking superhero.
Wow.
I mean, I was like, damn. And I go, let me just take this in. I was like, so he's some like big basketball player from the past. And he's a big like scratch golfer. He travels all over. He's known coast to coast.
Okay.
Now, I lost track after 9 orgasms.
Wow.
Okay. Then I'm like, why am I even counting them? Right. I don't know.
How big a span of time are we talking about here with those 9?
40 minutes.
Man, that's a lot.
40 minutes.
That's a lot. Well, this says a lot about you too, that you can come that much.
Well, see, the thing is that I'm kind of a hard nut to crack, pardon the pun. But he had a recipe that really worked. And I was like, well, damn. And it involves the wand, the magic wand, which is, their only husband I need. But this guy was smooth, sincere, sexy. And so he's like the apex predator of this group. He's the guy, right? Everybody, so why am I going to waste my time with any, bald white guys with their shirts untucked and baggy jeans and wearing New Balance sneakers?
Yeah, I imagine you have choices.
I have a few, but it's really not. I was very uncomfortable when people were talking to me because I'm thinking, and it's that they don't actually talk about the sex. They talk about their lives, just like picking somebody up at a bar.
It's not what I had imagined at all. Well, first, I thought you had to come in with another person. I thought it was couples only, and you came in by yourself.
Women
right?
can come in by themselves.
Oh, of course.
Because they're the unicorns.
Of course.
So what happened was I was like, there's going to be so much comedy here. Plus, we were having, I was having a comedy show at this venue, and I was selling tickets. I was promoting the show. I was meeting new people. I'm a realtor, so these people also want to sell houses. It was an entrance to a new community of people that I never even have talked with or whatever. So I found it fascinating. But I went to a swingers meet and greet for the first time, by accident. The next 5 times I went on purpose.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So I have
what am I doing here? I would only work a few times.
I have a comic friend that I told about this. He goes, well, I'm in. I go, yeah. So I go, let's go see what's happening.
But he can't go by himself, right? He has to come as a couple.
He has to come with me.
So can you pretend? You guys can pretend you're a couple.
I said he's with me. And so everybody assumed that we were canoodling, which we're not. And
well, this is the best situation for him.
I mean, yeah. I said, look, and so people come up and go, hey, that guy's really, I go, you can have him. So, but this is the thing. There was a really attractive young couple there, and everybody was trying to be with them. And a lot of people have already been with them because they're very active and they're very fun. So, this couple, the wife is stunning, and the husband looks like a beautiful, sexy Jesus. I mean, he was so sexy. He looked at me. I had to look away, and I got a lot of sex in me. I'm sexy.
Beautiful, sexy
I just was
Jesus.
like, ew, right? So I was talking to him, and we're sitting on a couch. Oh, so my friend tells him, hey, my friend wants to be with you. So he zips over to me. He's got his arm around me, and he's like touching my shirt just a little, or my hair, it just was something little, but I was like, it was so tittillating because
Jesus is touching your shoulder. Yes.
And so I got to talking to him, and I said, well, how do you guys like to play? That's how you kind of find out what
that's
the rules are.
There.
Yeah, what the rules are, right?
Okay.
And so he goes, well, my wife likes to watch me fuck other women, and I like to watch her fuck other women or men, like whatever, right? So I was like, all right. And he goes, but we like to do it in the same room because we like to have that connection, watching each other, etc. Right? And I said, okay, so you're in the same room? And he's like, yes. And I go, okay, hard pass. I go, I don't want to see my friend. I don't want to see him naked. Yeah. I don't want to hear him having sex. I was like, hell fucking no. Right? So then my friend, he's like, you're not a team player. You're so selfish. I can't believe, why can't you just do this for me? I go, I don't want to see you naked. Or he goes, I want to see you naked. I want to hear you having sex. I go, well, that's not the situation with me. He goes, you should just come over. We should take off our clothes and just, get past it. I go, I still won't be able to get past it. And I can't unsee that. I'm sorry. I just don't want to do it. Plus I'd be laughing the whole time, Mike. I would be fucking fucking laughing,
okay.
thinking like, I mean,
You got to tell me who this comic is later after the
okay,
after the podcast.
I will, but oh my god! And he came to a lot of them with me.
But the
Actually,
thing
all
is-
of them with me after.
The thing is, it's not as if that couple's going to be the only options. I'm sure there's more options other than that couple, right?
right, but they were stunning and young
Okay.
and sexy.
Okay.
So you got a lot of middle-aged men that I described earlier. Not that I have anything against bald men, but like, you know, a plaid shirt, untucked, baggy jeans, and New Balance.
It's not sexy bald.
It's not sexy
like-
at all.
It's not Jeff Bezos, you
right.
know,
Well,
who looks
yeah.
like an assassin these days, and
Yeah.
he's jacked. And
I just want somebody, I don't know, to have clothes that fit them and to be confident
Uh-huh.
and I didn't know what I was doing. I just was like rolling around as a comedian. And then they found out I was a comedian, right? So then I was like, oh, you know. So they all came to my show.
oh, that's great.
And one of my shows, I was like, hey, you guys, I recognize you. But the lifestyle is like secret. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
supposed
not
to like
supposed
do
to, yeah.
whatever, right?
Like, oh, we met at the YMCA. There you go. This is
Right. And so then after the meet and greet, so the meet and greets, you're just talking to people at a bar, right? And so after each of those, I just, you know, I went home with
John.
with Black Beauty,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
And I was
With
like,
that-
why even?
With Adonis.
I said to him, I said, hey, I go, so if you don't meet anybody at the, he goes, I said, unless I don't want to cramp your style. He goes, girl, he goes, we're going together. He goes, we're going together after this. So I'm like, okay. So that happened every single time. And then I was like, you know what, this really, I don't know. I don't need to be in this community. I could just be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And by the by, all my boyfriends are in their 30s. This man is 61.
Wow.
Okay. If he said, hey, will you be my girlfriend? I would drop everybody and be his girlfriend. However, that would be too selfish because he's such a fabulous lover that it would be selfish of me
Yeah,
to
he's a
pin
public
him down.
servant essentially at
Right?
this point, right?
Mike, I wrote
He's
him
a
a thank you
provider.
note. I wrote him a fucking thank you note.
Oh, you did in a culture and gave him a card.
No, I sincerely wrote him a thank you note and sent it in the mail to him.
Wow.
And that was before I knew about the certifications. And everything I wrote in my thank you note was like all the stuff
Yeah.
that those women
I
told
mean,
me were true.
nine orgasms in 40 minutes. That deserves a thank you note. Yeah.
Sure. And I mean, to, you know, open me up to letting myself go.
Well,
so
that's
like,
what I said. That says a lot about you too, that you can let yourself go that much. When you were saying usually you're not able to let yourself go that much.
I'm too much in my head. So when I interview new boyfriends, I
Interview new boyfriends.
okay. So maybe I should start at the beginning.
So you have a program to scan the resumes first, right? And then they make it to the interview portion.
All right, I'll tell you if you want, Mike.
Yeah, tell me, please.
Okay, first of all, I call them my boyfriends, but they're really fuck relationships. Okay, there's no snuggling, no snacks, no sleepovers. Okay, sometimes there's snacks, but just because I want them. And so we meet online, right? On Bumble, on Hinge, on FetLife, wherever, right? And so I said, all right. Well, then I read their stuff and we say, okay, I'm pretty compatible. I said, all right, let's meet in person to do a chemistry check, right? And then if we like each other, then we could talk about what kind of sex we like and whatever. And then if you want to come to my house, I need to have a copy of your driver's license. Okay. So then I get a copy of your driver's license and then you come over and we have interview fuck part 1, interview fuck part 2. Cause you know, I give them a second chance. Cause on first you're like, whatever.
Yeah, there'd
it's
be
kinda
nerves,
whatever.
right? Yeah.
Right. So, you know, and then yeah. And
Yeah,
now
you
they're
have a
fuck
harem. You
relationship.
have a harem of young lovers.
I did.
You do, yeah.
I do.
That's I mean, I was so. I wanted you on because I knew you'd have the most interesting. I have to say, you have delivered already within like the first 10, 15, like beyond, all my hopes and dreams. If this doesn't get the most listens and views, I don't know what's wrong. You are delivering the goods, Leslie. One thing I do want to ask you about is, because Bumble is the one where women are the one who take it to the next level, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming you just get bombarded with guys trying to connect with you, right? So how does a guy penetrate that wall of, guys trying to get, like, what stands out to you?
Right. How about not saying, hi, how you doing? How about coming up with something a little more creative than that? Everybody's asking me how I'm doing. Okay. And I'm sick of telling people how I'm doing. So something creative, something not too sleazy. Like, in other words, you don't go into the sexy right away. You got to feel it out a little bit and let me lead into that.
Okay,
right?
so no, don't start off with the eggplant emoji,
So,
water
right.
drops, water drops.
Right, not that one.
Yeah, okay.
And so I talk to them and so it starts, I'll say, hey, Mike, what's the word? Okay. So that's how I open up conversations with these guys on Bumble. And so if they reply, bird is the word, I'm like, yes, it is. Right. Okay. So they're already
I like that, Leslie.
in the
I like-
application
That's
process.
a great
right?
litmus test,
Right?
honestly.
Now, I also will accept grease is the word.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. Bird is the word or grease is the word. Right. So those two I will accept. But then, some guys say, well, sex is the word, work is the word, or whatever. But we build on that because it's, I give them an open question, what's the word? And then, they can take it from there. But I really like to have like interesting introductions instead of, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, hey, I read your profile. I see that you like to skydive. That's crazy. When's the last time you did that? Or are you planning on going again soon or whatever? Something that has a little bit of substance.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot. But in terms of profile, like what stands out to you then?
About my profile? Or other
No,
people?
about like the million guys that are trying to connect with you. You look at their profile before you make a connection, right?
Right. Okay, so I got to tell you something else, Mike, before we move on. And that because, okay, so I'm a real estate agent. And I'm a comedian, and I'm an image consultant for men. What happened was years ago, I was on OkCupid, and they had a feature where you could suggest edits to their profile. So I'd be like, I know you meant your Y-O-U-R-E. That's just a typo.
Oh, you're a grammar Nazi,
whatever.
okay.
And then I'd be like, I know what you're saying with playing hockey with your son, but I rewrote it thinking that how I would like to hear it and how it makes you look like you are, like the kind person you are and the great dad you are. Take this. So then the edits go to the guy, and then he decides whether he's going to accept it or not. And so I would preface it by saying, please take this in the way I mean it, which is out of kindness and helping you, because everybody deserves love. And sometimes, the writing the profiles isn't, everyone's forte. So, okay. So then it was a full-time fucking job from there. And so what happened was the people would accept my edit. And so it would say edited by Happy Go Lucky 365, right? Okay. So it was all over the place. I had women contacting me say, well, Brad from Santa Cruz 123, because I go, actually, no, I don't. Well, I saw that you edited his profile. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm just helping along. I was like, doing it. And then I realized that I'm really good at that. And I really want to help people connect. And I realized that men need a lot of help. They need a lot of help. So my company name is Man Up. It's a discreet company. It's only word of mouth.
Didn't you make a Facebook post about it with your business card though?
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I went national.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Because I remember I commented, hey, I take it as a compliment that you didn't give me a card.
Right. I've given a couple comics.
You can give more than a couple of comics a card.
But see, they're young, right? So they're like 25, and I'm like, I'll be talking to a group of them. I'm like, yeah, I do this, whatever. And they'll go, well, how do I look? And I'm like, well, this is what you plan to wear, right? I said this slouchy outfit or whatever. This is what you plan to wear. This is your, Orion was on one of my shows, and he comes out. I go, is that what you're going to wear? Because it's just like a black t-shirt and jeans. Same thing with Sammy. Sammy comes out with his orange. I go, is that what you're going to wear? This was right before I introduced him to be on stage. I go, is that what you're going to wear? So what I help with is not only writing their profiles, but helping them with their grooming, their posture, their etiquette, how to have a conversation. We get recent pictures, and I think, you know what, everybody deserves love, or at least sex. And so whether they want to get laid or find love, I can help them. And I have a lot of success stories and people who give me credit for them finding their people.
How do the comics usually respond when you give them that card and you give them the spiel?
Okay. So first of all, I will make fun of people, right? I'm like, hey, what's up, whatever. And this is before they know, whatever. And Then I'll say, well, you know what, I do this. And so if you want a little help, I won't charge you, or, whatever, since I always see you here and you're in that hoodie. You're in that ratty t-shirt that's too small for you and it doesn't look good. So, what I'll do is I'll say, can I give you some feedback? May I give you some feedback? They're like, yeah, sure. But see, what happened is, so like your pants, your pants and all that you've got going on, that's a look. Right?
Yeah, it is.
And the way your pants fit, that's a look. Yeah. And I like it.
Yeah, I had it tailored to fit this way.
See? Okay, so that's rule number 1. Your clothes need to fit you properly. I don't care what size you are. I don't care tall, short, fat, thin. They have to fit you. So I'm a real estate agent. There was this manager that came on tour. He was in like pleated wide leg pants with cuffs. Okay, and it was his birthday. He was 66, and I came up to him. I said, "May I give you some feedback?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "I can make you look a decade younger by just burning those pants." I said, "Do never wear those again." He goes, "Well," I go, "they're huge on you, and they're like from this makes you look old, okay?" And so I said, "We need a flat front, no pleats, a thinner leg. You got to be dressed a little more modern. You're a manager." And so realtors that become managers also, like, sometimes their wives are like, "You better talk to Leslie because, we want to change your image," or what have you. So the comics, they sometimes will just be like, "Yeah, whatever." And then I'll say something and they just will be there. But a couple of them have pulled me aside, right, later on that night and said, "Yeah, I would like to talk to you about this and whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's great."
Because I can imagine, that for some guys, it would be it's a big strike to their ego, telling them they need help in that department. And, guys can get defensive about it. So I was like, especially, I was saying, comics aren't necessarily the most emotionally, mentally stable people.
Correct. And
right?
It's not my main pool of
yeah, imagine
customers, but it happens because I'm always wearing something fantastic. And so people always say something to me, and then I'll say, "Well, you can add a little spice to this going on if you wanted to."
Well, I imagine it's kind of like that itch that you just have to scratch because you're seeing someone all the time, right? And it's like, I got to say something.
And they're really like a good comic. I'm like, hey, you just get a little, like, stop wearing that ratty whatever. Anyway, but, some of them appreciate, some of them are like, fuck you or whatever. But that's what you're going to get. But my customers come from wives and friends of women, having him call me or having me call their friend or husband or what have you. Sometimes moms that have older sons that are not launching from the house. I had customers that were 23 and 25, 2 men, very shy, and their mom hired me to launch them. So we talked about grooming. We talked about underwear, clothes, etiquette, how you have a conversation. It's like simple things.
Also goes way beyond just the look.
Yeah, the online profile. Oh yeah. Etiquette, tipping. There's like a little a man kit that I suggest having in your car when you're on a date and stuff that has certain things. I'll make a prototype and give that to them with the things that I think should be in there, right? And like this one guy, he goes, "Well, I don't know what to talk about with this woman. She's a waitress, and that's how I met her, and I really like her, and I want to ask her out." I was like, "All right, well, here you go. Ford, F for family. Oh, so you're the youngest of 6 girls. What was that like growing up?" Right? Okay. You instead of just saying, "Hey, how many siblings do you have?" You ask that, and then you follow up with a more probing question, and then you listen to them. Right? O, occupation. So you've been a waitress here for 2 years. What's the craziest tip you've ever gotten? Or what's the biggest tip you've ever gotten? Or what's the craziest thing that has happened, right? And then R, recreation. What do you like to do for fun? I've got a motorcycle. They had motorcycles, ATVs, a horse. Like, they had so many things. I go, you guys, you got to, like, that's all these great things that you do. And then D, dreams. What's your big why in life? What's your big goal? What's going on? So Ford will help you get through a conversation. And as long as you don't interrupt them all the time, and as long as you listen and sincerely listen, then you're off to a great start.
Yeah, I have to say, back when I was dating, I think that's one of the biggest mistakes men would make is they would just be talking for most of the date. And I always tried, like my rule of thumb was like, for a good date, I feel like my date should be talking 75% of the time and me 25%. And it's a lot of me listening in.
Like this
asking
podcast.
Questions. Yeah.
Like this podcast.
Well, you know,
I'm going to talk 82%.
and honestly, it depends on who the guest is. Because, you know, sometimes there's more of a back and forth. But when the guest just has something that's just really interesting and really powerful and they're obviously on a roll, why am I going to get in the way of that? Right? That's like, yeah, like you were delivered, like I said, right from the get-go, you were delivering the goods like 15 minutes straight. It's like, oh, this just gets better and better. So why am I going to get in the way of that?
Right.
You know, obviously what you're saying is way more interesting. And that's what I was hoping for. But I feel like, yeah, that's a mistake that, I don't know about now. Obviously, I've been with my wife for 16 years, but back, you know, when I was younger, that's a mistake that young men would make is go out on dates and just... It's like, okay, yeah, you're not going to get anywhere with that. Unless, you know, you look like Brad Pitt. But even then, you know, a woman will only be able to put up with that for so long before, like, yeah, you know, he's super hot. And he maybe uses if we're talking about like John, he's got all the right tools and everything. I imagine the talking doesn't really come into it at that point. But you're also at a different time in your life where you're just, hey, here's all cards on the table. You're just open to it, right? That says a lot. That's why I've always, even when I was younger, I've always had a thing for older women because of that.
Interesting. Well, my boyfriends, first of all, they know about each other. Mm-hmm. And they know about each other. And what I hear consistently is, I've never had a woman talk to me like this before. And then they go, I like it.
Yeah.
See, because men don't, like, you know what? Don't leave a lot of blanks open for men.
Exactly.
Fill in the blanks.
Exactly.
So what I say is I go, this is what's on the menu today. Oh, and some of them I kiss, some of them I don't, some of them I do anal. Oh, no, I don't do anal with all of them. Anyway. So, like, in other words, like, I do different things with the different relationships depending on what I'm attracted to, depending on what they like about me, depending on how we connect, right? And so I'll say, hey, this is on the menu. I'm not going to kiss you or give you a blowjob, but you can do this, this, and this. You're going to do all the heavy lifting. I'm a pillow princess today. Are you in or you out? Oh, I'm in, right? And so they all have different nicknames. The bull, the beast, the cop, the Chicano, the vampire.
Bull. Why the bull?
Okay, so I saw him yesterday. I tried to break up with all these guys. His dick is too big. So I was like, he can't hardly keep a condom on. So it's like,
this is the one you were telling me about before the podcast.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. He can't. It's like condom on, condom off. I can't play this game. It's too big. Your cock is too big. And so I said, so we're done. And he's the first one I met. He's my first fuck relationship that I met on FetLife. I was on FetLife for 10 seconds. He's like, right? So he introduced me to a lot of kinky things, which I appreciate. And we had a really nice connection. And he was really into older women. He's hot for me. And we'd make out. He's all like passionate and whatever. But it's just too much. And so I told him, and he's like, all right, well, we don't have to fuck. I'll just come over and eat you or do whatever. I just want to come over. And I go, no. I go, you bring that big dick over here? I mean, we're going to be doing more than that. So he comes over, and I'm like, look. So we have a long talk or whatever, and we just ended up doing a couple things. But it's, after a while, it's too much.
So why the bull?
Oh, because that's what you call a man with a big dick.
Is that? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, he's a bull.
I've never heard that before.
Mm-hmm. It's just like pillow princess. You know what that is?
I've never heard that before, but I understand. I understood immediately when you said it.
You're doing all the heavy lifting. Okay?
Yeah, I understood that immediately.
Right, and I'm going to be enthusiastically involved.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like I'm just going to be lying
You're
there.
not going to be dead fish just lying there. Yeah,
exactly. So, I let them know, look, you're going to be doing all the heavy lifting. Okay. Are you in or you're out? Okay. I'm in.
But bowl, and like, what's the thinking there? Because it's as wide as a bowl? Like, I don't...
Yeah. It's because a bull has a gigantic penis.
I know,
And so does the bull. The beast also, they actually all have big cocks.
Okay, so
right?
you have a type.
Yeah, that's called a size
Queen. Yeah, that I know.
Size
yeah.
queen, pillow princess.
Okay.
And the whole pillow princess. Okay, so this is the other thing. During the fucklationship application, I also I ask about physical limitations. Okay. And then I tell them, like, I played soccer and I did these needs or had surgery and whatever. So when a guy says, hey, I'm so excited to get you on top. And I was like, actually, you know what? I can only be on top for 42 seconds because of my knees. I will give it my all for 42 seconds, but that's it. Okay. Right. And then I start the countdown. 38.
Yeah. 39. Hey, 42 seconds is all I need. Right? Perfect.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah, like...
And so I tell them that my physical limitations are my knees, so I can't get on my knees, on top, or whatever. But we can figure out a sex swing or some other way, right, to do stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? And then I've got a whole bunch of condoms, a bunch of lubes, and a bunch of toys. So I'm all set up for whatever.
Yeah, I think you are the epitome. And I know there's like some crazy washing going on in the background, but these mics do a good job of picking us up instead of that.
Yeah.
But you are like the epitome of what a younger man yearns for, or why they yearn for, like, you know, an older woman, is because all cards are on the table. And I'm not even talking just about, you know, how sexually open-minded you are, but just the mere fact that the communication is just, hey, very upfront.
Yeah, direct.
Here's what we can do. Here's what we can't do. Because, like you said, for women, they just fill in the blanks. You know, it's not that we have bad intentions, or sometimes we literally just don't know. And we just don't know.
The direction is appreciated.
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, so like if a guy's a bad kisser, I'll go, honey, you know what? Can I give you some feedback on this? Because otherwise we're not going to do it. I love kissing. Mm-hmm. And I said, you don't just smush your face against mine because your freshly trimmed mustache is poking me in the nose. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. It's like, you know, you get poked in the nose. That's not good. And I said, you don't have to put your tongue all the way down my throat. Let's just have a little dance. Let's meet in the middle, have a little dance, go a little slowly. And then I'll say, how about if I lead this little area? Then we can figure out whatever. And some of them get it, some of them don't. But like one guy, his way of touching me was scratching me, scratching me
like light scratching,
lightly, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I prefer being touched like this instead, because I don't want all my epiphilia cells underneath your fingernails and all that. Plus, it just
evidence.
doesn't turn me on. And I am thinking of CSI. I'm thinking, all right, if he kills me,
you're in the deal.
Because that's the other thing, the safety. Being a single woman.
That's why the driver's license. I'm assuming.
Driver's license, and I send that to my safety manager, aka my friends, who are worried about me having having.
Hey, you've got a system down. Right? It sounds like.
And then I text him and I say he's coming over here, and then I'll text you when he leaves. And so that's my system. I have all their things. If one guy was like, I can't give you my license, I go, well, you show your license, to get a beer at the ballpark. The end goal is your penis in my vagina, right? I think I should, I don't know, get a copy of your driver's license.
Was his concern that you were going to become some crazy stalker and go to his house?
So I said, why? I said, it's okay. I said, I was like 87% chemistry on you. I thought we could do it. Uh-huh. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he goes, I can't do it because I'm a cop. Can I show you my credentials instead?
Uh-huh. That works.
I'm like, carry on. Right?
Yeah, that works.
So he shows me his like sheriff.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, yeah. I showed it. He showed me his little sheriff cards and his badge. And then he comes into my place and he's got his fucking Glock with him and he's like carrying it around. I go, what are you doing? I said, we've already established that I'm gonna have sex with you. You do not need that gun. Okay. He goes, well, I can't leave it in the car or whatever. And so he's looking around where to hide it. And I go, well, I'm not going to touch it. And I'm child free by choice. Nobody else is here. So you can just put it right there. And I won't use it either. Right. He was interesting and he walked like a cop and talk like a cop and fuck like a cop, all like stiff in the middle, right?
So is he more like an experiment for you then, just kind of like curiosity? Is it going to be what I think it is?
Well, so what was interesting, he made me climax in interview interview part 1.
And that's rare, I'm assuming.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I like to put on these like sexy bodysuits, like fishnet or lace or whatever, because it makes me feel sexier, and because it keeps me all like kind of in a little bit. So
You wear it for stand-up too sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like to be sexy most of the time.
Well, who doesn't like to be sexy?
I don't know. There's plenty of non-sexy people walking around.
I don't know, but like it's probably just lack of information or lack of awareness of how to make themselves more sexy, right?
Like the engineers in this area, they deserve love. They just don't know how to get out from behind their computers and wear some clothes that fit them and then have a conversation. So I deal with some men who are on the spectrum. So they are awkward socially, and they don't take cues very well.
Yeah. Have you
Right.
watched Love on the Spectrum on Netflix?
No, not yet.
Because
I saw it, though,
it's very like it's a feel good watch,
Right.
and they have someone like you over there that teaches them the social cues on how to communicate, and so you deal with that too. Yeah, your image consultancy business is like the breadth of like what you provide is way wider than I had assumed. Because I really just thought it was literally just the image, but you literally go into. It's almost like basically teaching men how to maximize what they have, not just the look, but in terms of you're almost like giving them self-esteem. And
Okay, speaking of that, a wife hired me for her husband, and he came to me, and so what happens is I have them professionally measured, and then I go and I pre-shop all their clothes because I'm not wasting their time looking for medium. Oh, is this 32? You know what I mean? So I pre-shop all the clothes: a dark jean, a light jean, a suit, a coat, like casual, all the different stuff, shoes, belts, etc. And then I have them meet me there. So this realtor who was becoming a manager, he comes out in the clothes and he comes out like this. And I said, you get right back in that dressing room and you come out with some fucking BDE. All right? BDE. Show it. He goes, what's BDE?
yeah, that's what I thought.
Right?
That's what I thought.
Big dick energy. I don't care if you have a small dick. You walk in like you're swinging the biggest fucking bull dick, right? His wife, now they just say it as to be funny. They thought that was funny. He goes, she's like, yeah, give me some BD. Now that's a joke at their house or whatever. But it is. It's about posture. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about etiquette. It's about tipping and not being, okay, here's a big tip. It's about being a gentleman and a good tipper in a non look at me kind of way. Some divorced men, if they depend on what package they want, I will go to their house. We'll take everything out of their closet and just put back the clothes that they're going to get laid in.
You offer different packages.
Yeah. Wow. Some people just want me to write their profile and get them professional photography So no, I do a whole bunch of stuff. I've done practice dates as well.
That could help a lot. I see that.
Well, 2 of those since after the pandemic. This one guy, he goes, I don't even remember how to date.
Right? I can see that.
Yeah. So he shows up. I go, first of all, you're late. Okay. And I said, and why is all this crap why isn't your car clean? And why am I moving the toys of your kid? Why are kids' toys in the front seat anyway? Like, in other words, I don't want to think about kids when I'm going on a date with you. Okay. And he's like, oh, well, whatever. I go, are we doing this or not? Do you just want me to go along with whatever you're doing? Or do you want me to give you tips along the way so we can, have a good conversation or whatever? And he was like, yeah, tips along the way. So we went out to dinner. We did the whole 9 yards. I revamped his look because he's a bigger guy and he was wearing all these plaid shirts. And I said, look, is this a 4-H, is this a 4-H farm thing going on here? Or what are you doing here with this big plaid shirt? Because when you're bigger, the patterns are bigger and a plaid shirt says something different than just a regular shirt. And it's, I don't know, I'm not really.
You're not feeling the plaid.
I'm not feeling it. And I said, you know what? I think you'd look better in this. And so what men need is advice on how they're going to get laid. See, that's where they are. And they're, okay, tell me. And so I've been on a couple practice dates. I go to people's houses. I get their hair cut. Like, we go and get them professionally groomed. And then I have professional photography taken because this is what happens. This is what the guys, I said, look, that picture in front of the cruise ship where you've cut out your wife, but her hair remains on your jacket, and you have your wedding band on. That's not one you want in there. You with your kids, don't have your kids on there. Do you think their mom wants their kids on an online dating site? There's a bunch of creepers out there. Plus, if somebody doesn't want kids, they don't want kids, and so they don't want to be reminded that you have kids, right? Then they like the scuba diving picture that you take on vacation. Look, unless you're a professional scuba diver, that's a big part of your life. I can't see your face. You're underwater. It's a stupid thing, and you should not include it. Okay. And then another one, they always give one from when they're in their 20s. And I said, look, I was smoking hot in my 20s, and I understand what you're saying. I understand that person is inside you. And I said, but the differential between that picture and your current pictures is too wide. It's too big of a differential, and you don't.
It's misleading.
It's so young, it's young, but they're doing it. And then you've got people that it's like been 5 years ago, right? So you got your 20 years ago, then you got your 5 years ago, and whatever. I went on a date with this guy that I thought was 53. He showed up, and I'm like, he's 63 if he's not a day, right? And so I politely stayed at the beginning of the date, and he was like talking about Bitcoin. I was like, never. And I said, hey, by the way, I thought you were 53. How old are you? He's like, oh, well, and he was like, wasn't answering. I said, I tell you what, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and if I come back and you don't tell me how old you are, it's the end of this date. I said, don't make me cut you in half and count the rings. Okay. I said, so he was like, I'm 53, whatever. He's sticking to that. I said, all right, well, use your Bitcoin to pay for my drink here. And I said, I'll see you. So I'm dating. So like, I'm like swiping left. The picture of the guy is just his eye, or the picture of his dog, or, let's see. So you got the wife, you got the cutout. Oh, the golf pic. 4 guys golfing that somebody took. In other words, like, those aren't pictures for online dating. And yeah, if you're climbing a mountain and whatever, that is, that's intimidating. And if you're going to be climbing mountains and doing that, let's say that's what you're doing. I'm intimidated by that. I can't do that. Like if I go skydiving, if somebody, like I go skydiving often. So if somebody like that might intimidate somebody, I don't know. Like if somebody's too in shape or like, it's like a happy medium.
So what are you looking for in a good profile pic then?
So I'm looking for something obviously recent, something that is like a, from the waist up, at least, at first, headshot. And you know what? I get it. You're bald. You don't have to wear hats in every single one of your pictures.
Well, some guys look good bald, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Now, that comedian who wears the big hat. He's got like a square head and he wears the big hat. Part of his joke is he goes, then I took my hat off. He goes, I know, I look totally different. Like he looks great in a hat and he looks so weird without a hat. So it's part of his joke. And some guys are sexy bald. Some guys are sexy bald, but if you're bald, show me that you're bald. If you have teeth, I need you to show me you have teeth. Okay, first of all, I always ask as a joke, hey, do you have teeth? Because they're all like this. I was like this. I go, I just want to confirm you have teeth. And they're like, oh yeah, I have teeth. Okay, so this one guy, he was English, brilliant, and whatever. So I was like, all right. And I didn't ask him about the teeth.
Because you're assuming they're horrible because he's English.
Because I was like, all right, well, he's probably going to have bad teeth. Yeah. But so he shows up. He has one tooth. Not missing one tooth.
That's even worse than bad one tooth.
Right. It's terrible, right? It's the front tooth too, right?
Oh my God. So he's got
one, not missing one. He only had one, right? Oh okay, so am I the shallow person that's going to go, you know what? I'll see you later because you didn't tell me. Yeah, I need you to have more than one tooth. I should have put that on my profile, but I just thought that was a given. But anyway, instead I was polite and we talked for a while. Turns out that he's brilliant, he was like one of the first people to do some kind of websites. He goes back a long time and he's brilliant and is known for what he has done.
Oh.
Right? And so we were talking about different things. And then finally I said, hey, do we want to talk about this or do you want to should we pretend that I don't see that you have one tooth? I said, because when I had breast cancer, if I got those expensive wigs, it looked like real hair. But then when I was talking to somebody, I was wearing it. I was thinking, do they know? 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 Do they know it's a wig? Do they know? And then I was like that. So I changed my wigs to be teal, purple, pink, and different colors. So I'm wearing a wig. Mm-hmm. So I know I'm wearing a wig. So if it's a little crooked, whatever, I'm wearing a wig. I said, do you want to talk about it? Or, and so he's like, I don't like to talk about it. So then he started getting teary-eyed. Then he went to the bathroom. So I'm thinking, oh, great. Right? I'm so mean.
What happened to this guy?
Okay. So then he comes back and he said, well, I lost all my teeth. I was talking about something. And it turns out that he had lung cancer from smoking. Whoa. Okay. So he lost all his teeth except for that one. And I said to him, because I'm like, sometimes you're trying to, like, somebody says something, you like, oh, here's a solution for that, when maybe they just want to say it and have you listen. Right. So I'm always like, oh, yeah, you can get a whole set of teeth for, and I was like, they do those, whatever. Right. And so he was like, very, and then we talked about something else. Well, basically I made him cry 3 times. He has estranged sons in England that he hasn't seen for years. And I was like, it's not too late to have a relationship with them. It's maybe not be a dad-son relationship, but it could be a friendship.
This is a first date we're talking about?
First date.
Yeah, he's pouring a lot on you there.
Cried, went to the bathroom. I went to the bartender's. I'm like, how much is it? So I threw down some money. I go, I gotta go. I ran out and ran out. And this is in Campbell. So I ran out to this place that was like an arcade. I'm like, where am I? Where am I? And it's like some like adult arcade. It's like a bar and an arcade. I'm like, yeah. So I see these people at the bar and I go, hey, you know what? Can I just join you? Pretend you're my friends because I just left a date. I'm really scared that he's gonna follow me. Turns out that he has 3 months to live.
Oh my God.
Right? And I said, what if I fell in love with him? Like, in other words, like, I find that out at the very last minute and then he's crying about that, whatever. So I found that out. And then he came around looking for me outside. He was calling me. And I said, I'm just, it's just not a fit for me. And he's like, well, do you still want to have sex or something? And I was like, unless you can do something, unless you can do something magnificent with that front tooth, whatever. But that's an example of, I didn't ask if you have teeth, and then he only had one tooth. I don't think he's alive anymore. I tell that story to somebody, they're like, that's so mean. I go, he's probably dead. So I mean, I don't think he cares. And he didn't so he didn't get more teeth because he only had 3 months to live.
Man, that is a twist that I did not see coming there. I have to be honest. And then he only had 3 months. So I was like, oh, yeah. Jesus.
Right?
I can imagine how you must have felt when you found out. It's like, oh my God.
The bartenders were like.
Yeah.
I was like.
Well, how did you find that out if you'd already walked out on him?
So actually I forgot that bit. Or maybe. No, you know what? It was because he called me. He kept calling me, and then I answered. And I answered, and I was like, you know what? It's just not a match, and I'm not sure. And he smelled like cigarettes too, right? God. And he was like, well, I was crying because I only have 3 months based on my, diagnosis or whatever, right? So I'm like, all right. And you know what? To me, I was thinking, you shouldn't be online dating. Or you should say, hey, I got 3 months to live. Let's fuck and fuck and fuck until my tooth falls out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because I'm sure there'll be someone out there that's like, yeah, let's do it.
Had he had teeth, he was brilliant. He had a lot of stuff going for him, but I made him cry 3 times. And so I'm kind of from the East Coast. And so, I'm kind of...
Yeah, you don't want your men crying.
I say what I say what I want to say. Here, people are a little more gentle, they're a little more touchy here. But and it's the same thing with the sex thing. I say exactly what I want. I get your buy-in, and that's how we do it. We talk about it.
Well, so, to his defense, he was dying in 3 months, so he's probably more vulnerable than he usually is, I'm guessing.
100%. But I feel bamboozled.
But it doesn't mean that you have to,
bamboozled.
Yeah.
3 months to live, And so if something is really different or something, I ask about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was him, I would just put that right up front because I'm sure I'll get I'll get some extra credit with some other ladies there. They'll be more willing to, hey, this guy's only got 3 months to live. Let's go for it.
Right.
As opposed to hiding it. It's like, why hide it?
I'm going to see it when I see it. And so that's what I talk to my customers. I said, what we're going to put online for you is what they're going to see. And so when you show up, they're going to be delighted because you are the person that you are online.
It's so interesting that when you walked out on him, not only did he look for you, but he kept on calling. Because if it was me, I would have just like, okay, yeah, this didn't go well, and let me cut my losses here.
I hid in that arcade.
Yeah.
Because I saw him, like, he came out and he was walking. I'm thinking, so I like buried myself in these people, and then he kept calling, and I was like, you know what? That was kind of rude of me to leave, but I thought, you know what? I said to the bartenders, I said, look, making a man cry 3 times, that's my limit, so I got to go.
Yeah,
because they were like,
I don't know how rude it is. I mean, at a certain point, the guy's got to have some self-awareness of what's going on, right? I mean, but I don't know. Like, I've never been walked out on, but yeah, I've been very aware when a date's not going well. You know, I know this is not gonna go anywhere. I mean, he
contacted me several times after that.
So that's even worse that he contacted you several times, after that, right? It's
so
like,
his life was like so interesting. Like, he had all these really cool things. He traveled all over and he'd have these really cool things. And I think there's a couple of books in me, and I thought maybe I crossed paths with him because I'm supposed to write a book about his life. So when he kept calling me, I said, I'm not going to have sex with you, okay? Unless you can do something fantastic with that one tooth, but I think it's a no. I said, do you think that we crossed paths because I'm supposed to write a book about your interesting life? He said, no, I just want to have sex with you. And I was like, all right, well, thanks for your honesty. Best of luck. And, I hope you...
what do you say? Live for another 2.5 months.
Right? So it's awkward. Now, this is the thing. When you're dating online and there's a floodgate of men, right? And so
that's what I was trying to hint at.
What's the
earlier,
word?
right?
What's the word? Hey, Jamie, what's the word? So then I'll do all these what's the words, and then I'll get all this stuff back, right? And then I'll have to, go, okay. Then I'll do them in like, okay, these are my top 3. And so like I communicate with them. Sometimes we get on direct text. Sometimes we get on Kick. Sometimes we get on anywhere else. Like, and so I have to keep track of where I met them, what I know about them, what I've told them. So I say a lot. I tell everybody all my shit, but I'm not sure if I've already told them all of it or whatever. And so it's difficult. So like yesterday, he was like, so why don't we talk on the phone? Because I like a good closer. Okay. I don't want to be texting type, whatever. I like it in the beginning to make sure that you know the English language and that you don't, I don't care if you dangle a modifier or end the sentence with a preposition, but your, there, to. I mean, that's not a big ask. Okay. So I need to know that you actually have those basic skills. Now, a lot of these guys are from Europe or different things. I give them a pass on that. So,
are you an English major?
No, and you know what, my old boyfriend, he goes, nobody wants to date an English major, and a teacher, an English teacher, and I was like, yeah, no, I mean I'm exuberant when it comes to that kind of stuff, and only because I can't believe, like in other words, like it's not a big ask, and it's basic. I just want you, have your nails trimmed, your teeth brushed, and just know a couple words. You know what I mean? So it's not a big ask. The bar is low. So what happens is some guys go, hello, is everything okay? Like whatever. And I said, look, don't read between the pauses. Don't read the pauses in between the communication. If I'm done with you, if I don't feel a match, I'm going to tell you so you know to move on. But right now, I'm managing a couple things. You're here in the pipeline. I want to get to you, but don't give me the, hello, are you there? Because they get all like hurt.
That's never a good look for a guy.
So this guy that I said, he goes, hello. And I said, hey, I'm working on I'm trying to finish some things up with this guy, and then I'm going to get back to you, whatever. He's like, oh, well. And he like started off and goes, you're a bitch, you're whatever, right?
I put that on Facebook. On Facebook, right? Yeah, I saw that.
So And that guy was 5'4", my height.
Okay.
He was sharp. His clothes fit him beautifully. So when you're small stature, when you have a small stature, your clothes have to fit you. And otherwise you look like a little kid in big clothes. He had a lot of style, interesting glasses, interesting stuff. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's figure out I want to go on a date with him. Let's see what he's doing. Because when people have interesting clothes or they're different in some way, I want to talk to them.
Okay.
And when he was such an asshole to me, I was like, look, you know what? Don't make me pull out this, but you know what? Every time you stroke your micro penis, I want you to think of me. Think of me. Right?
He was like,
every
happy
time.
to. There we go.
Right? No, he was so pissed. He goes, I know who you are. And he goes, I know who you are. Leslie Lang. I know who. And I was like, yeah, okay. So, and it's easy to find me. I'm not hiding or whatever. And I go, you made me pull out the big guns. You should never go up against a comedian when it comes to insults. Right? That's kind of, Anyway.
You're giving him permission. I'm like, happy to. Here we go.
And he was so
just
mad.
lean into it, buddy.
So mad.
What? Okay, we're coming up on 1 hour. One thing I do want to get to. Let's. So what would you say are like? What are like the 5 basic things that a guy can do to turn around their image? Then, like, what are like the 5 most common things you see? Like, okay, guys, you need to turn this around.
Hair.
Okay.
Facial or otherwise. Like, you have a very nice haircut. Depending on who it is, what they look like, how old they are, haircuts are different, right?
Okay, it's a huge difference maker. The right haircut, yeah.
I can see a $6 haircut and I see a $60 haircut. I know the difference, right? So I have a team of professionals that I work with, and so I have a salon. I have a
barber,
hairdresser and
stylist.
barber, a photographer. At where I shop for clothes, I come in on a regular basis and they go, oh, here's the Cole Haans, that you wanted. By the by, so the Cole Haans are the ones that look like tennis shoes, but they look like wingtips, but they're tennis shoes. All my clients get those. I go, this is what you're doing. I don't want you to wear tennis shoes or even hard shoes anymore. Because now that's what the thing is. You can be comfortable and still look good. So hair. Okay. Clothes, right? Hair, clothes.
What about clothes? What are some basic tips you can give on clothes?
It must fit you. It must be high quality. And
by fit, you don't mean like super form fitting, right? It just has
it has to fit you. So if you're younger, there is a super form fitting pants and the high pants, whatever. So it depends on how old they are, right? But normally I just like to get a slim leg, flat front, and depending on what their style is, some of my clients are country. They're and I'm not trying to change them. I lean into who they are and I help them best present themselves like that. Mm-hmm. So and also the right colors of clothes for people. Something that's going to make your eyes pop. I also explain how to give a compliment.
So hair, clothes.
Yeah, etiquette,
giving a compliment, etiquette.
Conversation, the forward that I told you, tipping.
Tipping's a big one, huh?
Yeah, tipping is a big one, and to tip well and to tip well discreetly is what I'm looking for. Is what you should do. Like I was on a date the other day. I was kind of a pain in the ass to this person, so make sure. I said, can I chip in on the tip or something? I always ask. You want me to split it with you? Whatever. If the date's not going well, I offer to split it. Definitely. Even if it's going well, I'll say, do you want me to chip in or you, whatever? And they're like, no, this is my.
But is that a genuine offer or is that a test?
It's a test. Because the man should always pay on the first date. So there's all these rules. Yeah. You go to the women's. You live in the city. You come to the 408 for me, the first date. You are the man. You're paying for that's just a rule. When I suggest a first date, I suggest a yogurt place and getting a kid-sized frozen yogurt. I'll know, Mike, within 11 seconds if I want you on top of me.
I mean, that's pretty much true for every woman, isn't
Yes,
it? Right? Yeah,
it is.
you know that soon.
Yes, it is. Now,
Yeah.
chewing with your mouth open is a deal breaker. Cargo shorts, cargo pants, Crocs, and chewing with your mouth open is a complete deal breaker. A complete deal breaker. I blame Old Navy for those fucking cargo pants. It's like these guys is their uniform. Cargo pants, old flip flops, and like a retro T-shirt or just a T-shirt from Old Navy, right? And it's in, what kind of cargo do you have, Mike? And then you put it in the washing machine. Then they're all like crumpled up, pockets. Anyway, okay, so that was a side note. So hair etiquette, tipping, easy stuff that you think people would know. Like if you're walking on a sidewalk, make sure the woman's on the inside of the sidewalk and you're next to the street. There's a kit that I like. So I'll do it's, a shaving kit, the little bag.
Yeah.
So I fill that up with things. Okay. The easy things, condoms, lube, good gum, right? If you're going to kiss her, she might want some gum. You might want some gum, expensive gum, not like gum that's going to be gross and all in your thing. Expensive lotion, hand lotion. Those little picks for your teeth, with the
floss on it.
Yeah, with the floss. Have a couple of those. Zip ties. No, I mean, I do have zip ties, but that's for a joke. But
hey, go ahead, Vince. I think our drinks are ready here, Leslie. There you go. Okay, so we can get a straw.
Thank you. Oh,
yeah,
so we keep this thing in?
There's brulee on the top. So if you want to get a taste of that first, remove that and you can sip it before you mix it all up. Thanks, man. So the paper straws are new, huh? You guys are going to paper now?
Do you want?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So once you add that, you actually just want to get them nice and mixed up.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually I'll just put the red cap back on, or I'll shake. But not if you got the straw. Just mix it with your straw. There you go. Leslie's about to pop her boba cherry, ladies and gentlemen. But no, but I think those are some good basic tips. So we're gonna wrap this up. Be honest, Leslie. So how am I doing then?
Mike? First of all, this boba is very interesting and chewy.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be like a explosion. Like, you know how caviar is? Where
no, it's chewy, and then there's different consistencies of chewiness. And some boba pearls already have a little bit of sugar and honey in them, so they're flavored on their own. But
I like it.
yeah, it's very
Okay, so Mike, I think you look perfect.
Thank you.
For your age, how your clothes, your look, you know what I mean? Your pants, your shoes. I already checked you out because I just do by accident. Like I just think it's like a hairdresser. She'll look at people's hair and go, like, you notice, like, whatever your specialty is, you notice about other people, right? And I like to say, hey, this is what I like to say. Like, hey, those pants really look good on you.
I was like, hell yeah, they do. Like that fit.
So men are not stroked very much. And so I never hold back a compliment. So if I see a man walking down and he's incredibly handsome, I'm like, excuse me, sir. Hello. And he's like, yeah. And I said, you know what? This bar has a handsome limit and you are exceeding it. Okay. Now I'm going to let you off with a warning. Okay. But you got to keep it down because you're making all these other guys look terrible. Right. And then I leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you made my day, whatever. It's a flirt and flee. That's my signature move. Flirt and flee. And then if they're interested, they will come find you. But you give them the little hi. It's like Bumble. You reach out and you say, hey, I might be interested in you. Or I'm not. Or they're married and I don't care. And I'm just get compliments. Also, women never hold in a compliment. And you never know what people are going through, And so I always wear like fun like things, and I feel it's weird, but I kind of feel like it's part of my job to spread joy and to share my craziness and my colorfulness and spread joy. And so you never know. Things are tough right now, and so if I can make somebody laugh or smile, that's great.
How did that make you feel when I noticed that your earrings matched your shirt too? That little attention to detail.
It's funny because guys do that. They're like, oh my God. And I go, well, it didn't happen by accident. Because they're like surprised that it's, that it matches. I'm like, well, I did it on purpose. But yeah, no, I mean, and you said something. Now, how to give a compliment. We have to learn how to give a compliment. because guys would be like, "Oh, you look good." Like I was in an interview. I came for an interview, and the manager was like, "Damn," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" It was just the first of some sexual harassment that happened during that interview. However, I did not join that office as a result. But how to give a compliment is you say, boy, that shirt really brings out the color of your eyes. Boy, those pants are doing a great service for you. Like you're not like saying, hey, nice shirt. Because then you're complimenting the shirt. Well, that shirt really accentuates your biceps,
that's
Mike.
a good tip. It's like, hey, those jeans really accentuate the curve of your ass. It's like, yeah. Oh,
if you can say ass right at that point. Yeah. No. But you're not you're complimenting them wearing whatever you're liking. Like, you know what? Hey, like I'll stop a guy and I go, hey, yes.
Yeah, I like that.
And I said, keep, this is amazing.
I like that because it makes it about the person, like you said, and not necessarily the shirt. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. All right. Hey, they're open.
Hey, is that
PX? Oh, it's your hair straightened. I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't recognize you at first. I was like, we're about to end it right now. We're coming up an hour. Yeah.
Oh, she's my PX. PX is my comedy sister.
PX Flora, yeah, Leslie's comedy sister. You can get in the shot there. You go.
We're going on tour. I didn't know that was happening.
All right, but okay, let's end it then. I swear she's also a comedian, folks. Everything we'll talk about. So Leslie, where can people find out about all the different things that you want to plug? Comedy, your image consultancy, realty. Let's go for it.
They can text me.
Okay.
Introduce themselves, tell me what they're interested in, and it's 408-316-4654.
Oh, you're given the number. Look at that. Not a website,
well,
not an Instagram
I don't have
handle.
a website because it's a discreet service, right? And, the image consulting and the real estate.
What about your stand-up?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, did you forget that you're a comic too?
I guess I don't I don't really go out asking. I don't know.
PX, don't order it. It's on the house. Let me know what you want. Okay.
Yeah, they can still get me with that number.
Okay.
And no, I don't have any website. I do somewhere. I just I'm better with the people.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, there you have Leslie. Thank you so much for delivering the goods for 1 hour. That was amazing.
Mike, it was my pleasure. It was a delight. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for popping my boba cherry.
Yeah, there you go, folks. All right, guys, thanks for listening. All right. Hey, guys, so thanks for tuning into the podcast, and a big thanks again to the fine folks at Sonity for letting us record the podcast here and for hooking us up with their delicious boba milk tea drinks. My wife, Krista, and I review boba milk tea spots all over the Bay Area. Believe me when I say that Sonity is definitely one of the best boba milk tea shops around. Make sure to follow them on Instagram at SAN as in Nancy, and as in Nancy again, A19, that's sana.na19 on Instagram. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to hit that follow/subscribe button and make sure to give us a 5-star rating to give us some algorithm love. Okay? Thanks for listening.